and welcome to Contest of Content.
The podcast where every episode we pit a beloved TV show
And a beloved movie
against each other in 3 high-stakes and utterly stupid battles to the death.
Our guest judge will choose which contender reigns supreme.
The winning champion will receive a pair of Yeezy Boost 700s.
A pocket full of sunshine.
And a Domino's marble cookie brownie in the shape of a heart.
I'm Nick Kaminsky.
And I'm Shelby Sweeterman.
And this week's guest is a very...
So how was getting here to this recording?
Not great when I flipped the numbers around and rented the wrong house. So
How far down the street were you?
it was about a block and a half away, so you have a neighbor that wonders why somebody in all black was just knocking on the
You
door.
look like you could very politely be trying to rob her.
I know, right? Except for the
You do.
sweatpants, it's like I'm too lazy to rob anybody, for sure.
No, that's just for agility.
Yeah.
Excuse me, could I please have your
Yeah.
valuables? Yeah.
Could you tell me where they are? Which ones are most valuable? Hi, thanks for coming on to our podcast.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Do you like TVs and movies?
I love TVs and movies. I
Were
do.
you trying to steal a TV from my neighbor? Is
Yes,
that
yes.
How many TVs do you currently own?
2.5, because one of them just been sitting in the hallway, and I don't know.
Which hallway does it sit in?
The one right by the front door, just waiting
course,
for somebody
yeah.
to snatch it
Uh-huh.
out
No.
any day now.
Did you, so you stole that TV and you just haven't done anything with it yet? Is
I
what
have
you're
no
saying.
idea where it came from, to be honest. And I don't know.
Which hallway does it sit in?
The one right by the front door, just waiting
course,
for somebody
yeah.
to snatch it
Uh-huh.
out
No.
any day now.
Did you, so you stole that TV and you just haven't done anything with it yet? Is
I
what
have
you're
no
saying.
idea where it came from, to be honest with
That
you.
makes
And it's
sense.
like on its side in the
You
worst
just-
possible way.
conjured a TV.
Yeah.
It just happened.
What kind of shows do you usually find yourself vegging out to while you should be doing productive things?
Oh man, lots of comedy. Definitely
Uh-huh.
like still watching Seinfeld every day as if it's still a show on
Yeah?
TV because it's on Hulu. So I watch that all the time.
I'm not a fan of Seinfeld.
What?
I don't like Seinfeld.
That's crazy.
So you don't like Seinfeld himself?
Yes.
Or
Oh.
okay.
I like the other characters fine.
Yeah.
He is annoying and his shoes are too white. I know that's more a problem of the 90s and not
Right.
exactly him, but they're just so, like,
Yeah.
distractingly white.
We're gonna
It's
lose
awful.
listeners, Nick.
That's
well,
all you
I
see.
love Seinfeld.
Shows that make me feel super uncomfortable.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so maybe but
Because you
now
have enough of that, like, in your everyday
Yeah.
life, basically.
but now that I like get high sometimes, maybe I just need to be high while I watch it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think you guys missed the boat. If you don't
Yeah.
like it, it's over.
Maybe.
It's
Did you
over.
watch it when you were a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
When I was
Okay.
like 11 years old,
Okay.
I watched it, and now I see these references, and I'm like, oh, I get the abortion
Right.
joke,
Okay.
but I
It's-
didn't
Yeah.
get when I was 11.
It's such a cultural
Yeah.
thing. Like I
Yeah.
understand its importance in the culture.
Can I use this as an opportunity to say the word zeitgeist?
Yeah.
Right? Guys, fucking zeitgeist.
Nick, I just want you to know you can say zeitgeist whenever you want.
That's really, I appreciate it.
yeah.
I don't always feel comfortable
Right.
saying the word.
Well, yeah, it's all
the
about
ZG?
what you're comfortable
Yeah.
with.
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna say it more often now. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I just want to help empower you.
I feel more empowered.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. That's what this podcast is all about.
This is actually an empowerment.
It's an empowerment podcast.
podcast. Empowerment.
It's an empowerment podcast.
podcast.
Okay, so the battles we're working with this episode are
Yes, the battles for this week.
the lead is actually really annoying.
The lead is actually really annoying, not kind of annoying.
There was some confusion over that.
I thought it was kind of. It's fine. I know exactly what I'm doing. The second one, the second criteria, the second challenge is wish this would end.
and the final one, book was better.
These three go together really well.
They do.
These go together well. We've had some other ones where it was much more difficult thinking of a movie or a TV show.
Oh, boy.
Did you have any problems coming up with yours?
No.
Okay. So you're like, it's been more difficult, but this one wasn't difficult at all.
This one was easier because they all went together so
Yeah.
well, but it was difficult because I had to watch something that I kind of fucking hate.
Okay.
So I've done this 2 times in a row. And I didn't. Should we reveal our choices?
Would you like to start? Do you
Yeah.
want, hold on, let's start.
Well, hold
with
on. Are we starting? I don't know. Are we starting right now? I guess I want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're here for.
Jess, what do you
We
think?
just come here.
I mean, this might be unrelated, but it's your fault that you keep watching things you don't like.
Yeah.
It's your choice, right? What you're watching.
No. First off, I refuse to accept any responsibility for anything that's ever been difficult in my life.
If you
Alright,
get better
that's fair.
at battling. then you could defend
well,
anything.
I think I'm doing pretty
Hey,
good at it.
listen. I won last episode. I'm still riding that high.
All right.
Okay, I will say I've thought about it a lot since last episode, and I'm pretty sure Sam gave me a pity win last week.
One of the,
Our guest judge last week, who was very, very nice. I'm pretty sure she just wanted to build the suspense at the end and have it not be a shutout, but I've wrestled with it. Yeah,
I think you did a good job, though.
thanks. I've wrestled with it. Yeah,
I think you did a good job, though.
thanks.
Yeah. I love that, like, we've been talking about this. This is like a competition podcast.
Yes.
And we're two people who don't like competing.
Yeah, why are you
hate
helping each other?
competition.
You're not on the same
We're
team.
so helpful to each other while we do this. Like,
Stop it.
I feel bad when I beat Shelby because I know how hard she tries, and she's
Thank you.
she's fine.
It's a little patronizing, but
Yeah, I
okay.
know. I was like, oh, he's kind of like subtly
Yeah,
jabbing you, but
yeah.
pretending it's
Now
nice.
I'm yeah.
Oh, that's so
Men.
much meaner than like active.
I'm from the
Competition.
Midwest. We're not nice people. Okay, so yeah, let's get started. I think. Let's get started. I guess.
Nailed it.
All right, so this week I didn't really pick one movie that I hate, that I think the lead is kind of annoying, that I wish would end, and that I think the book was better. I sort of picked three. Although I'm going to focus on just one for the
Okay.
podcast. But I was 100% positive that I would be able to find all three of them on DVD. And I did. And I bought them all. And I watched them all. But I'm going to focus on Fellowship because that's the book I remember best. Because I don't think I ever finished Return of the King.
Fantastic.
It's-
I am a Lord of the Rings fan.
Oh, good. Good. This is going to be more fun then.
I am a bit, but I am perfect. I rewatched them and I was like, Return of the King really holds up. And people were like, they all do. And I'm like, Return of the King really holds up.
Really? That's the one for you that you think holds up
Well, yeah, we don't have to get into it right now. We'll get some
sure.
battles.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I,
battles,
as you know, I read a lot of fantasy.
You do.
So all the shows I was thinking of were fantasy based shows, and so it's cool that you picked a fantasy movie also. And I kind of went back and forth on this one. I had options. I was torn between two, but I settled on a show with an ensemble cast. It's a show on HBO. It's based on books I've read.
Oh, good. Oh, God damn
It's sexy.
Uh-huh.
It's bloody.
Oh, no.
It's True Blood, based on the novels by Charlene Harris.
You got me.
I did, I got you.
I thought you were going to say Deadwood.
No, you didn't.
I thought you were going to say Hung.
I was like, it has to be Game of Thrones. I'm gonna pick Game of
Yeah,
Thrones. It has
that
to be Game of
makes
Thrones.
sense.
And I felt so bad because I was like, I don't want to scoop Game of Thrones from Nick and talk about it on this. Like, I feel like
Oh, you can, yeah.
No, I feel
mean,
like it can
don't-
be better utilized in a later episode. So I kind of saved it, and then I thought about it more, and I was like, oh,
imagine?
True Blood.
True
so
Blood.
it's so better.
Jess, do you have any strong opinions about either of those TV shows or movies?
I have seen actively on purpose not seen them because like they're those types of movies
Yeah.
and shows that like come at you and everybody's like, you gotta watch this, you have to, and I'm like,
Absolutely.
well, now I'm not fucking doing it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So this is
Great,
like
yeah,
you can make
no.
up anything and I'll be like, yeah, that's
Oh, man. This is...
outside of like the mainstream things that everybody
Uh-huh.
knows.
We're gonna have to like work for it.
Yeah, this is
because
gonna be-
there's
this is a treat.
This is gonna be fun.
All right. Well, we
um,
might as well get into it.
yeah, let's get
with
into it.
Battle 1.
All right, so movie will start. The lead is actually really annoying. So I don't know what everybody's opinions on Elijah Wood is. Opinions are, I like him. I think Elijah Wood is fine. I have no strong opinions really one way or the other. I guess Lord of the Rings is very much an ensemble, and I think there are many annoying things that happen throughout the entire first movie. Many annoying things that happen throughout the entire first movie. They're all annoying, actually. They're all fucking annoying. Okay, so there's 4 little hobbits, and all they want to do is eat and sleep, and and smoke weed, but they can't call it weed. It's like not weed, but it's weed. But so there's those 4 guys, and then Frodo is one of those hobbits, and he's got all this like shit thrust upon him. But Like, does he? He's kind of an asshole. But then there's a dwarf who they make just like an idiot. And then there's Orlando Bloom as a pretty boy.
Nice.
And then there's Viggo Mortensen as a dude named Vigo. And then there's Gandalf, who is Dumbledore. And then that's it, right?
Your understanding of this movie is spot on.
Unparalleled,
Yeah.
yes.
Frodo is Rudy, right?
Frodo is not Rudy. Rudy is his best friend.
Oh, okay.
Rudy is Sam.
Samwise Gamgee.
And he is he is his best friend.
Oh, okay.
Rudy is
Samwise
Sam.
Gamgee.
And he is a amazing, like, he tries so hard.
He's a good boy.
He's a very good boy.
He's a very good boy.
Sam is a very good boy. And Frodo is kind of a dick.
Oh.
So he's kind of annoying. He does have a lot thrust upon him. He has to do this very perilous journey involving jewelry. And it's like very difficult, but Frodo's kind of a dick. He's part of the Baggins family, and the Baggins, and that's where they live, they're kind of like they're kind of like the black sheep of it, and like they're kind of like know-it-alls, and like they kind of think they're better than everyone, and his Uncle Bilbo goes on one adventure and like just thinks he's fucking better than everybody.
Fuck him.
So he kind of fuck him. And Frodo's like but he's not, like, he's kind of, Frodo's like your friend who would insist that you have to go to this one restaurant to eat, and then when you got there, he wouldn't even.
Fuck him.
Like, Frodo is like the kind of guy who like lived abroad in France for like a semester when he was a sophomore, and like still tells people like, well, when I lived in France, and
In some
he,
obscure city.
yeah, he's like, oh, I went to
You can't name a French
Yeah.
city.
Liberglob. Nice.
Excuse me, Liberglob?
Liberglob.
That's in Germany. Nick.
That does sound like a delicious Germantown.
It's
He's
made of chocolate.
As
Aww.
all German towns are.
All German towns are made of chocolate.
Uh-huh.
Let's do a German. Okay. The first thing he says in the movie, and it's like kind of cute, but it's actually also annoying, is like he hears Gandalf coming up the path, and he runs, and he's like they got like a little kid playing him from the shots from behind, and then he goes and he sees him, and the first thing he says in the entire movie, the first lines of the entire movie, he just goes. The first line spoken by him, he goes, "You're late," and it's like just like it's
Like he's like-
guys like the security out front, and he's like, "Oh, four little hobbits, who are you guys?" And then like he gives a fake name, and he goes, "And our business is our own." And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just doing me job." And like that guy dies like 10 minutes later, and he's pretty rude to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just trying to be nice." And he also like they have to take care of him so much. He gets stabbed like 7 times in this movie. And he's very like, I don't want to step on the other argument about the book, but like they make him very like damsel-y in the movie.
He does seem very sickly.
He's
Just like sick.
so pale. Like before he even like the ring starts like he's
From the beginning. He's
from the
sick.
beginning he's got to go to the doctor.
So not because he's got stabbed 7 times already. Because I'm like, give him a break, okay?
No.
Maybe he's got low
sickly.
vitamin D.
He's losing his blood.
That I won't blame him for looking sickly after that. But they're kind of
D.
He's losing his blood.
I won't blame him for looking sickly after that. But they're kind of. And the most annoying thing about him is that he doesn't appreciate Sam properly. Sam is a good boy. He's Rudy. So you know he's just trying so hard because
He's precious.
it's actually the same. Sam's brother died in a mill explosion, in like a steel mill explosion in the Lord of the Rings world. That's not true.
Yeah,
But
like, no.
that's not true at all.
I'm like,
But
they
like
have
you
steel
said, I could
mills,
say
like, back in the-
100%.
I'm also like,
so dumb.
who's Rudy?
Oh, Rudy.
The football movie.
The
from, like,
football movie from like
Oh.
1987 or something.
Right.
It's Sean Astin who
Yes.
plays Sam.
He's a
That
good
was
boy.
like his. He's a very good boy
Very
in that
good
too.
boy.
You guys keep saying he's a good boy in like such a creepy, like
I know. The more I say it, the creepier it
molesty
sounds.
way, yeah.
And the harder it's becoming
And you make
to
eye
stop.
contact every time, and
Yeah.
I'm like, stop it.
This
Is
is
he
our
a
whole-
good boy or is
Are
this a
we
trick?
doing that?
I don't know.
Our whole relationship is based around this. Just being like, is he a good boy? He is a good boy. While we stare each other
You
in
just
the
go to
eyes.
the Glendale Galleria and
Yeah.
just point out good boys.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
We've been kicked out so many times.
The last a lot of times. We shouldn't even be talking about it. This isn't really annoying. It's just kind of, every time everyone in this movie, this is something everyone does and it's annoying. Every time everyone looks at the ring in this movie, because it's the one true ring of power,
Yes.
which doesn't mean anything. Like, I don't understand why it doesn't, okay. And Frodo especially, just, they all look like they are going to come. So hard. He's like fingering it at the bar. And he's just like, it's like his stubby little hobbit finger with the dirt underneath is it's like his stubby little hobbit finger with the dirt underneath is
fingering with dirt.
He's got dirty little hobbit fingers, and I found it annoying.
He's not a good boy.
Oh God.
So that is my argument.
That's a good. I mean, you did a good job.
Thank you.
Shit, I did it again. I'm not supposed to.
No, you're terrible at being competitive.
Okay.
But thank you. I really appreciate it. Your validation means everything to me.
Yeah. I just hope I can earn yours as well. So True Blood is about Sookie Stackhouse.
Uh-huh.
She's a waitress in Bon Temps, Louisiana. Small
Say
town Louisiana.
Bon
Temps. It's set in a world. Nick's gonna choke on something or spit something on the table right now. Okay, it's set in a world where, like, 2 years prior to the story taking place, vampires have come out as existing. There's been synthetic blood invented that can sustain vampires. So they're like, okay, now we don't have to hide from humans anymore because we don't have to kill humans to eat anymore. Yeah. So that's, kind of where we're coming into it.
It's a fucking win-win for everyone.
Right, yeah.
That's great.
Sookie Stackhouse, this waitress, she can read minds
That
for
doesn't
some
sound
reason.
like a name, and
Yeah.
I know that's her name.
And
every time you say it, I'm like, that's not a name.
That's how we get into this, the annoying, the lead is actually
like
really
It sounds
annoying.
like a pancake place.
Yes,
It's
yes.
Sookie,
Like
Sookie
IHOP, but
Stackhouse.
like a little. I don't know.
I
Something
never
wrong with
eat
it.
there because it's gross, and I got the runs really bad when I got a Denver omelet there.
I'll
From
eat
Sookie Stackhouses.
I'll eat at an IHOP. I won't eat at a Waffle House.
No?
Fair.
No, I will not
gloves
do
are
it.
off when it
Yeah,
comes to Waffle.
coming for you, Waffle House. Okay, so it's set in it's a
Waffle
small
House.
town, Bon Temps in
Love
Louisiana.
it.
The accents in the show vary in quality.
Is break, right?
Alexander
hot one.
Skarsgård is in it, yes, and he's great. And even Anna Paquin as Sookie Stackhouse is great.
that name.
Okay, so there's a lot of in these accents.
I'm so sorry. I just got the Stackhouse part of your joke.
Oh, you're like.
Because it's pancakes.
Yeah.
I'm very stupid. I'm so sorry.
Okay, you ruined my flow, but whatever.
I know, I'm really sorry.
So I recommend that you check out some YouTube videos, just supercuts of people saying Sookie's name in the show. So the first thing, Anna Paquin, so her love interest is a vampire named Bill. So you get to hear her saying, Bill, Bill,
Oh, jeez.
Bill,
that sounds
Bill.
really good.
I'm not done. Bill. Over and over and over. So many times. And then all of the characters saying Sookie. Bill, who's an old, like, Civil War Southern vampire, says her name like Sookie. And he says that so much. You can find a lot of videos of that one. Just all the characters saying Sookie's name. It's incredible. Videos of that one. Just all the characters saying Sookie's name. It's incredible. So that's one annoying thing. It's just
very
how
annoying.
often. But the real problem comes down to something that happens in a lot of fiction, which is like the boring leads problem, where it's like, oh, all of these side characters are so much more interesting than the lead character. Sookie's thing in True Blood, no matter how, so Anna Paquin does a great job, but no matter how hard she tries, this character is just like a surface level, all smiles. She can read minds, but it's like conflicted because it's hard to read. It's hard to be able to hear people's thoughts all the time. But
Can
she
all
uses
vampires
it.
read
She's
minds?
not a vampire.
Oh.
She's actually half fairy,
Oh.
which we will get
Jesus
into.
Christ.
Oh, I hate her.
I-
You're gonna have to work for this.
So she's just kind of like, yeah. So
Sookie.
Sookie, as a character, is all like smiles and sweet. She's just trying to be of development or like three-dimensionality. Is that a word? I don't know.
It is now.
It is now.
I
As like
think-
the
I'm pretty sure it
side
was
characters in this book. So like Sookie and Bill are like ostensibly the main characters, at least for the first few seasons, because it's all about like their sort of relationship. But they're the most boring people in it. Like, you want to hear more about the side characters. You want to hear more about Eric, played by Alexander Skarsgård, or Lafayette, played by Nelson Ellis. I think that's his name. Anyway, they're way more interesting characters. You really don't give a shit about Sookie by the end. And like, if you look it up online, just do a quick Google, you'll find so many articles about how boring Sookie is. About people. I read one I really liked is an article called True Blood Fan Confession, I'm So Over Sookie, by Shoshana Kasak, which...
Hi, Shoshana.
Hi, Shoshana. Incidentally, I looked up the name Sookie, and it's actually like Shoshana. Incidentally, I looked up the name Sookie, and it's actually like a nickname version of Susan or Susanna, which both come from the name Shoshana. So, wow. Real interesting connection there. It's not interesting at all. Anyway.
So Anna Paquin wrote this online and with a pseudonym.
Right. As Sookie Stackhouse wrote it herself. She's like, I'm boring. I tried, but I'm boring. So yeah, it kind of, you'll find so many articles about how people are just like, okay, enough with Sookie. She's it's just like she can remind. She has magic fairy powers as she goes through the thing, and you're like, okay, this is so annoying because I don't want to see her on the screen anymore. Yeah. The show ran for 7 seasons,
that's a very
and you're
long time.
just like, you're like, okay, this is too much. Like, give me more of the other people. Give me more werewolves and shapeshifters and werepanthers. There are so many things.
Werepanther.
There are so many things happening in the show, and Sookie is really like the most boring part of it. And Sookie is really like the most boring part of it.
She sounds terrible.
Well, I rest my case. Yeah.
I watched one episode of True Blood while I was on a treadmill at a gym.
Nice.
I don't know. It's in Bangkok, but now I feel like a dick saying that. Now I feel weird, like I'm bragging.
In Bangkok.
But like it was like that was the only like English thing playing. Everything else was in Thai, so I watched True Blood and I loved it. Yeah, loved every minute of it.
It's trash, and I drink up every minute of it.
Yes, it seemed like very drinkable trash. Yeah. Like I could see the appeal.
Well, that brings us.
Oh.
Unless you have any questions.
Oh yeah, do you have any questions?
Would you like us to?
Do you need us to
elaborate?
Explain what?
So okay.
The Lord of the... No, I'm kidding.
No, so why she sucks. And I also, like, even though I never really watched True Blood, like, there's things that I knew about it. Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely knew she sucked already. So
yeah.
the fact that you said that, you're saying that Frodo is the most annoying character, but you're leaving Elijah Wood as the good one and not annoying. Or are you gonna just say many characters? Because she's picking one main character that's annoying.
Yeah, I'm going mostly with Frodo.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Frodo, because he is kind of the lead.
Yeah.
I think you could argue he's ostensibly the lead. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, is Frodo Elijah Wood?
Yes.
Okay, see, this is why I got confused. I was like, he mentions Elijah Wood, and he's like, anyway, Frodo, and I was like, Rudy.
Oh, Elijah Wood also is in the movie as himself.
No wonder he was such a dick and didn't.
What if halfway through they get to Rivendell and Elijah Wood is just there as his character from Sin City, and he's just like eating people.
God.
Or his character from.
What if halfway through they get to Rivendell and Elijah Wood is just there as his character from Sin City, and he's just like eating people.
God.
Or his character from the Ice Storm.
Excuse me, what?
It just means he would die and slide down a frozen street. Yeah, Ang Lee directed it.
Shit.
It's
I'm gonna watch this.
then I won't spoil it because it's pretty hilarious. It's not hilarious, but you should watch it.
Is it like bad? Good?
No, it's bad. I honestly haven't. It's kind of.
It's just bad.
just bad.
It might be good. I think Kevin Kline and Joan Allen are in it. I think it might be good.
Okay, cool. Well,
great.
All
right.
And we're done because this was actually just a podcast for the Ice Storm.
I'm going to cut all of this. I'm just kidding. All right, so I think that brings us on to Battle 2. All right, so Battle 2 wish seasons are critically acclaimed. Like, they got good reviews. Critics were into them. They got, people watched them. At the end of season 5, the showrunner, Alan Ball, dipped out, was replaced with Brian Buckner.
Fuck that guy.
Reviews nosedived for season 6 and 7.
Sorry, Bruckner. I'm sure you're a nice guy.
Viewership dropped off. Everyone wanted it to end at that point. And let me tell you, when I was watching through this show, I got to the point in, like, I think season 4 or something, fairies show up. They start getting into fairies. There's a fairy world now. And in this, like, dark fantasy horror thing, it seemed very strange. My roommates I was watching it with, they're like, I'm done. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Fairies was too much for them?
They were done. They were done at fairies. But that's only, like, season 4. It really...
But not you.
No, I would love to... I stopped... I haven't watched past that point.
Oh,
but I
no.
want to, because
no.
the last 2 seasons are horrible. Like I said, yeah, ratings just went down. Viewership went down. Critics are like, fuck it. They said that, like, it changed from something kind of complicated and exciting and sexy and fun about characters and relationships to something to more like action-based kind of show.
Yeah.
And so for these last 2 seasons, basically everyone wished it would end. It was too much. And then it got canceled. And at that point, it doesn't have the excuse of being like it was separated from the books by that point. It could have kept going. It had its own world.
Didn't even know it was based on a book.
Oh boy,
I had no idea.
Wait till we get to Battle 3, Nick. But at that point, just everyone was like, okay, we are done with True Blood, and finally ended, but it stays with us all the time because we're still talking about it.
We're still talking about it.
I'm talking about it right now.
Why haven't you finished it?
I didn't have HBO for a while.
Oh.
And right now.
Why haven't you finished it?
I didn't have HBO for a while.
Oh.
And like, it's not the kind of thing I would want to watch by myself because of the, like, trashiness of it. I think it's really exciting to watch that
it's
with
more fun.
people.
Yeah.
And I live by myself now. I don't have roommates. It's a bummer.
God, that sounds...
It's a humble brag.
Yeah, I was like, that sounds really fine. It sounds fine to
Yeah.
not have...
I only ever have to do my own dishes.
That, see? See?
That's pretty
Yeah.
great.
But I have to finish things, so, like, I won't wait for people.
And I'm surprised, though, that, like, knowing what a train wreck it was, you weren't, like, on it, like, I have to know
Yeah.
how this is so bad. But also, how did they take a show that you said, what's her name, is a half a fairy?
Yeah.
They're like, everybody already hates her. Let's make the rest of it all about fairies. Like, what? That was,
They
like...
doubled down
Well,
halfway through.
Here's the thing:
They
is
were
you
trying to
don't
do-
don't know she's half fairy. You just think she's a human who can read minds.
Can fairies read minds? Is that a thing we were supposed to know?
guess.
Honestly, I was doing research, and the fairy thing doesn't even have to do with her reading minds. It turns
What?
out that she had, like, a demon granted powers to her family.
What?
I'm back to being
Does
annoyed by
does
her.
she have wings? What makes her a fairy? Is she
No,
sparkly?
she has, like, light powers, so she can shoot light out of her hands.
Can she control Canadian geese?
Yeah, weirdly, they went into detail at season 6, episode 3 is
Yeah.
all about the geese.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And-
You guys are fucking with me.
No,
Yeah,
that's a deep far away from home. Far from home.
Fly
Fly
away
away
home?
home. Fly away
Fly
home.
away home.
Fly far away home.
Fly far away home.
I saw that movie in theaters like twice.
I didn't know you were talking about a movie. I just went with it.
Oh no, there's a movie called Fly Away Home, and she
Yeah.
she flies with Canadian geese.
Oh, Anna Paquin?
Yeah.
Way home.
Fly far away home.
Fly far away home.
I saw that movie in theaters like twice.
I didn't know you were talking about a movie. I just went with it.
Oh no, there's a movie called Fly Away Home, and she
Yeah.
she flies with Canadian geese.
Oh, Anna Paquin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. When
She's little
like a
Jeff
kid.
Daniels is her.
Yeah.
It's like her mom dies, and
I do
they
want
bond
to.
over
Yeah.
geese.
I
you
do
know,
want to
has-
reiterate that Anna Paquin does her best, and I think that she's.
Is she good in it? Because I've seen a little bit of it, and she seems not fantastic in it.
It's.
I don't.
She's certainly a delight to watch.
Does her accent vary? Like
Her
from episode
accent
to
is
episode?
pretty consistently that accent. Bail. But yeah, after a point, like, even in the last season, the last 2 seasons, the bad guy is like a side character from season 2 or something. Like, they even have to like bring in other
yeah.
stuff.
It's
Just
someone
like
that no one cared about.
just everyone wished it would end.
Do you know what show lasted for 7 seasons that is on Netflix that I had to watch all of, and I fucking hated it towards the end? Was
What?
West Wing.
Oh.
You had to watch
I
all
had
of
to
wrestling?
finish it because I don't know, and
I think
it went
is that the one
forever.
where what's his name? See, I'm real bad at this. Bad with names, bad with dates.
Love it.
Has like just long monologues.
Yes.
Every single time.
Absolutely.
I'm like, oh my god,
Yes.
this guy is still talking.
That is 100% that show.
I've never
Oh
seen
my
an
God.
episode.
Oh, I can't wait to choose it for the next week's episode. Okay, anything else you want to?
No, that's all I got for Wish This Would End.
All right, so I wish this would end. This movie's 178 minutes long. The Fellowship of the Rings, the non-extended edition. I tried to find the extended edition.
non-extended
I tried.
edition?
I swear to
Yeah.
God, I wanted to find the extended edition so that I could just get even angrier.
And how long is that?
It's like I think like 3 weeks long. And you just have Peter Jackson just hold you at gunpoint while you
Quit
watch
your
it.
job.
God,
Just
did you
forget
guys
about it.
have friends? Have you ever had someone who calls themselves your friend ask you in all seriousness if you want to watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies in one day?
People have asked me that, but that was my ex-husband, so fuck him.
Yep,
That's
fuck that
why.
guy.
Oh,
Nobody who cares about you.
Yes,
would
yeah, he's
do
not your
that.
friend. He's not your friend.
Yeah.
I would do it. I wouldn't ask anyone to do it with me. It's a burden I would
Fair.
carry alone. Much like Frodo had to carry the ring by himself.
I
Fingering it all the way.
Yeah.
My dad, I asked my dad, I told him that I was doing this for a podcast and we famously like to shit on these movies together. And I said, I asked him, should I just do Fellowship or should I do all of them? And he said, his exact words were, all of them, embrace the pain, man. It's 178 minutes long. The second one, which I know I technically didn't have to watch because I'm really only talking about the first one, is 179 minutes long. And the third one is 209 minutes long. And I watched the first one twice. And I watched Two Towers and Return of the King. They don't form the Fellowship until an hour and 33 minutes into the movie. Until more than halfway through the movie, it's called the Fellowship of the Ring, and I don't see any fellows or any sort of shipping until more than the halfway point.
Wow.
But for me, the exact moment that I really decided, like, this is where I need it to end, and I know this because this is where I fell asleep the first time watching it. And I went back and watched it again, but is when they get to Galadriel in the forest.
Yeah.
Galadriel is a elf played by Cate Blanchett. And she's very boring in this movie. Elf, played by Cate Blanchett, and she's very boring in this movie. But that is at the 2 hour and 8 minute mark. And by that point, I was like, there is so much left to this one film. Oh, there's still like an hour left. There's still like, it's so. While watching all 3 of these movies, I cooked 3 different meals. I did 2 loads of laundry. I did dishes 3 times. I filled out the tax sheets for a new job that I got. Humble brag. I had a 2-part phone/text conversation with my sister who's visiting in a couple weeks. And I took 5 separate naps.
Oh, wow.
It's
All during the one movie.
This was during all 3.
Oh, okay.
This was during all 3 of them. Like, I was able to do all those things during the 80-hour runtime of this trilogy. Oh, the only other thing I'll mention is that, do you guys hear that Amazon is making a TV show for it?
I did
Or
hear
as a TV show because people are expecting it to be on for 500 years, you know? Like, it's 1 hour at a time. Like, I think that this actually I think it could actually be a better format. And I'm now, like, encouraging more Lord of the Rings, and I don't understand what's going on.
You already sound so stressed out about
Yeah.
the
I'm
ones
really-
you've been watching. Like, I'm stressed out, and I haven't even had to do it. Even though, like, lots of productive stuff came out of it, so... I don't
Like
know.
me freaking out or
No, like,
Amazon?
dishes.
Oh, yeah, I
Job
did, yeah.
applications.
I made stuffed crust. I used the string cheese, and I
Stop
made
it.
stuffed crust pizza.
No
at home.
way.
Yeah, because I'm a 9-year-old.
Wow.
Did it melt all the way? I've always
It
wondered.
was so good. Yeah, it was really
Why didn't you make that tonight?
good. Because I'm a bad person.
What a time to be alive.
I know.
We
Lord of
can
the
make
Rings.
our
and
own
You can
stuffed
do it.
crust?
You can do it at home.
doing that
It's
when I get
fucking
home.
crazy. Okay, and it is way too long. There.
I will say I enjoy those movies.
Yeah.
I think that they're paced well for a fantasy movie.
I don't want to.
This is me just
She's trying to throw you under the bus.
I'm
Don't fall for it.
trying.
Oh,
She's
that
really
was
cute and she's smiling and she thinks she's.
That was Shelby's version
trap.
of smack talk.
This is a trap, dude.
This is.
You guys
Aw, that was
are
adorable.
too nice. You need to get it.
I know.
Well, I think you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings, okay?
Somebody doesn't splash a drink in someone's face by the end of this. Oh man.
Okay, you can do it to me. It's fine.
I don't know. I need to wash my face anyway.
No, I won't. Nope. Yep.
I will say when I was a kid, I saw it in theaters, and
Yeah.
I think I had to go to the bathroom during it, which I
Oh,
never
yeah,
went to the
it's-
bathroom during movies.
It's
How do you
long.
not? I go to the bathroom during every movie I've ever seen in my life. That's
Dude.
why I don't go to
Really?
the movie theater.
Yeah.
Went to the
it's-
bathroom during movies.
It's
How do you
long.
not? I go to the bathroom during every movie I've ever seen in my life. That's
Dude.
why I don't go to
Really?
the movie theater that much. 'Cause I'm like, you're gonna miss at least 5 to 10 minutes of it.
So
When-
I mean, yeah.
Depending on
If
how
that's
far away.
if that's a constant for you, then
Yeah.
I get
Yeah.
stressed out about missing parts of a movie.
Yeah.
Same.
But then,
What-
like in my
yeah.
head, I start thinking about it, and I'm like, "Don't pee. This is really
But
getting
then you
really
get
good."
anxiety
and then my
about
body's
needing
like,
to
"Well,
pee.
you know what? You need to pee forever now."
Forever now.
Now you have to pee forever.
It's a 45-minute bathroom break.
Yeah.
You just continue pissing.
When I was a kid, I didn't like public restrooms. I would literally go through the school day and not use the
What?
bathroom at all.
What?
Yeah, like I would pee in the morning before I went to school, and I would pee when I
Wow.
got home. I did, between nothing.
So you drank no water. Or liquid.
Probably.
Just dehydrated.
It's like parched constantly.
You
Yeah.
looked like Frodo after getting stabbed a bunch of times. When I was a kid, my parents would get really frustrated with me because I always needed to go number 2 whenever we went out.
Did you have a nervous tummy?
He was
there?
afraid. He's like, "I'm outside."
I was fine. I was not afraid of public bathrooms. I would poop in any of them, but like I couldn't.
You heard it here, folks. Nickel poop and anything.
I'll poop anywhere. I'll poop at anything. I loved that commercial. Poop. Anything else? Do you have any questions or any other thoughts about?
I think I'm good on this
yeah.
one.
Okay, cool.
Good on this one.
All right, let move on to battle 3.
That was a really good one.
Thank
Do
you.
you make the same sounds every time?
No.
No,
Okay,
they're-
I could not repeat
It's
a
a-
single
You
one.
got like the sheet music.
It's a
on the
haunting
wall.
cacophony of variances of sounds. Okay, so the last challenge for this week, for my champion this week, is The Book Was Better, from good old Johnny Morrow. That is such a criteria that bandwagoning it, you know?
And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna be one of those guys. It's like the book was better,
I'm
but I gotta
gonna
read
be
the book first.
one of those awesome guys who talks about Lord of the Rings constantly. I know in a couple of years I'm gonna be able to grow a neck beard. I'm just into it. So I read all of Fellowship. I read half of Two Towers, and then I read I was so pissed off by because they're very good, but they're long, and I was younger, and I didn't want to finish it, and so I just read parts of Return of the King. I honestly just flipped through, and I was like, where does Gollum bite off his finger? Spoilers. And so I didn't, but the first one I really did read, and I gave it the proper attention that it deserved, and it's better. The book is better.
I'm saying it with confidence.
I wrote this down. The movies do a good job of world building.
Doo-doo.
They do.
Do.
The first one is all capitalized. I wrote, the movies do a good job of world building.
Doo-doo.
They do.
Do.
The first one is all capitalized. They do.
We're adults.
Stuffed crust
Are we?
pizza
Yeah,
every
dude.
night of the week for dinner. Have it for breakfast. I do think that they are good adaptations of these books. I don't think that they totally beefed it, you know?
Yeah.
But the book's just the medium of a book. It's basically the fantasy Bible of the early 20th century. So what I was saying earlier about the fact that it could be a TV show, that format works better. The format of a book for something as involved as all of Middle Earth and the fight for Middle Earth is the place where they live, I think.
Is it in the core of the Earth? Or
It's not,
It's just
right?
kind of on the equator.
It's
Is
not,
is
right,
Earth-
Shelby?
Oh, sorry, I dropped
What is
out for a
Middle
second.
Earth? Where
it's-
Middle Earth
it's-
isn't part of our Earth, right?
No, it's what's called second world fantasy. This
It's
takes out for a
Middle
second.
Earth. Where
it's-
Middle Earth
it's-
isn't part of our Earth, right?
No, it's what's called like second world fantasy. Like this
It's
takes
like
place
it's
in a
like
different-
Essos or Westeros, right?
It's like Game of Thrones. I mean, you could say Game of Thrones would exist without Lord of the Rings. So.
You could definitely 100% say that. So I mean, I think you're really gonna be hard pressed to make God, it's still 3 hours long. It's gonna be really hard to make a 3 hour long movie properly sum up all the things that make like a 450 page book so magical.
How many inches thick is that book?
Oh, it's a thick one.
Well, not in paper. I'll show you my paperbacks in the bit. They like normal size books.
They're like the first one's probably about like this, like the regular
Yeah.
paperback. You can all see this.
Yeah, everyone can see it. You're holding your fingers about 1.5 inches apart.
Yeah. God, is that only an inch and a half?
Inch.
Guys are automatically gonna be like, no, I think that's like 3 or 4 inches. It's not that much, but it's like it is an engorged book. But so there's just some things. There's a few things that the movie does in particular. I don't remember the book super well, but there's a few things that when I rewatched the movie kind of stuck out as being annoying. One of them is that Frodo's very damsel-y. And like they have to save him a lot, and he kind of like.
I mean, Elijah Wood is like a pretty man.
He's a dainty little.
He's a dainty
little boy, but he's not that good a boy.
A good boy. I wrote this in notes. Not a good boy.
Well, but Elijah Wood is a good boy.
He's good, yeah. But he's not like Tobey Maguire. I don't think. I don't think he's like a weird gambler.
Yeah.
No, Tobey Maguire's not a good boy.
Oh.
Yeah, well, he's a good boy in
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Peter Parker's just.
Peter Parker's a good boy.
Yeah. But Gimli is super fucking annoying in the movie. Gimli is a dwarf, and the whole thing is like dwarfs are like pretty humorless, and like they live underground, and they're like angry. They sing though, I guess, a lot, right?
Oh, that makes me like.
But
yeah.
the character of Gimli, he's one of the Fellowship. They make him like just real stupid, and like as the movies go on, he gets even stupider. And he falls off a horse every fucking second, and
he's pretty small. He probably can't hold on.
And it's so funny when they do it because he's dumb.
Aww.
So like that's kind of a dumb change because like they're trying to like make it. They're trying to add levity to it, which I get.
Was it funny in the book?
No, he's not funny at all in the book. In the book, he's like a real hard ass.
Oh.
The books aren't really funny.
The books are not funny at all. The books are just a bunch of dudes walking around for a long time.
Well, I do have Merry and Pippin. My
Merry and
favorites.
Pippin are and I enjoy their kind of comedy in it. Like they don't, their levity doesn't bother me as much. And then there's the example of, so there's this character in the book called Tom Bombadil. Matter for the plot, really, at all. There's like this, I remember when I was reading it, I was like so confused. I was like, wait, who is this? Like, is this house filling with water? I'm so confused. But like, it's a weird scene that doesn't have any bearing on the overall plot of The Lord of the Rings, really.
Right.
I think they like get some weapons there or something.
Yeah. Well, I do have something to say about it, but I'll let you continue.
But so like a lot of people were super pissed that they cut it out of the movie. Because everyone loves Tom Bombadil so much. Tom Bombadil.
I was like, please say that more.
It's very fun to say.
Didn't you? Okay, no, sorry, go ahead.
But so it's like, does this movie need to be any fucking longer? It does not.
No.
Does Tom Bombadil really add anything to the like integrity of the plot and like what we're really trying to do? No. Would it be kind of a cool thing to have in the movie? Actually, kinda. But so that's kind of the catch-22 of trying to make something like Lord of the Rings that's such a book. Love the detail from the book, but you kind of can't put that much in there, and that's the inherent problem of a movie version of The Lord of the Rings.
It's a good argument. And I will, yeah. So, Tom Bombadil in the books, right, shows...
Jess just shook her head disapprovingly at Shelby.
Do you want to say it again? Do you want to say Tom Bombadil again?
Yes.
Can you say it?
Tom Bombadil.
Yeah. Oh, good. He does show that like the ring doesn't have power over everyone.
Oh, right.
So he does a certain little world building thing but you're right. It's not necessary for the plot.
Yeah.
I say,
like it.
So yeah,
it's just not.
Lord of the Rings, the books did kind of change the landscape of fantasy literature, but I would say that Lord of the Rings, the movies, also changed the landscape of fantasy movies. Game of Thrones, the TV show, would not have happened if the Lord of the Rings movies hadn't been successful.
And I guess the books probably wouldn't have happened either, right? If the Lord of the Rings hadn't.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is just
Sure.
100% because books probably wouldn't have happened either, right? If the Lord of the Rings hadn't.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is just
Sure.
100% because of.
Well, it certainly came out of the context of fantasy literature post.
Didn't he
Lord of the
basically
Rings.
say, like, didn't George R. R. Martin kind of say, like, he was really interested in the world of that he built, but he thought it was bizarre that he didn't. He was like, this is basically Lord of the Rings, but with religion.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
don't,
like people
I
are
don't
gonna-
know what he said, and I don't care.
I mean, but Game of Thrones wise, everybody's having a lot of sex in there. Are the hobbits having sex all the time in Lord of the Rings?
No, it's
That's
no,
a different
it's
type
more
of-
prudish.
Yes, it's
certainly.
much more prudish. They smoke pot, but, like, it's not really pot.
What do they call it? Like
I think they call it, like, shagweed. Or maybe shagweed is a type of it.
Schwag.
Swag.
They're
They call it
literally
swag.
just smoking swag.
That's weed.
He's got, like, a little cigarette one-hitter.
That's nice. With a little like yellow part in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
they have like regular
Yeah.
cigarettes
Yeah.
from Earth.
He's
Regular cigarettes
Yeah.
from Earth.
he smokes American spirits.
American Spirits do a little gold strip.
So books better. That's my argument.
great.
Thanks.
Okay. So, I mean, as you now know,
Mm-hmm.
True Blood is actually based on a series of.
Oh, it's a
No,
series? How many?
It's 13 books.
Jesus fucking Christ. How long is one book?
They're short because they're contemporary romance / mystery fantasy. So they have, it's a combination of genres and stuff. They're first person narration. Sookie narrates. So the thing,
Oh, God.
everything.
I know, I
No,
was
listen.
really-
Everything that's annoying about her in the show
Uh-huh.
suddenly gets turned on its head. You see her inner life and all of the complexities of it because she's the narrator of the book.
Oh.
And that's something you can't translate into
Yeah.
a TV show or of the book. And that's something you can't translate into
Yeah.
a TV show. So in the books, all of her like vapid smiles and trying to be a good person actually has these layers of explanation that you just can't get out of the show.
The show doesn't do voiceover, right?
I mean, as much as any show, I'm not a fan of voiceover.
No.
Nick.
I
don't know
hate
if you know
voiceover.
this.
I actually forgot to mention that I don't like the voiceover exposition at the beginning of Lord of the Rings movie. I'm so
Pretty
sorry.
much everything that is adapted from a book gets voiceover because like they want to keep
Because you
stuff.
want it to...
Yeah, but it's
But
not.
it's-
That's not what visual medium.
No, it's
is about.
90% of the time I think, like, you could have just not said any of that and I would have liked this better.
Yeah.
Right. So
Except No Country for Old Men.
right, we've had this discussion before.
Yes,
Maybe
we
we'll
have.
have it again on this podcast. The other thing about the books is so True Blood, the TV show, is like a dark kind of horror, very bloody. The books have all the same things, but are a lot more lighthearted and humorous. Let me read you the titles of all of these books. All right, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Dead Until Dark, Living Dead in Dallas, Club Dead, Dead to the World, Dead as a Doornail, Definitely Dead, Altogether Dead, From Dead to Worse, Dead and Gone, Dead in the Family, Dead Reckoning, Deadlocked, and Dead Ever After.
Ooh.
Those are the novels in the Southern Vampire Mysteries series, now called the True Blood series by Charlene
where did
Harris.
they
Look at
get
the
True
cover.
Blood?
It looks
Yeah.
so nice.
If you look up the cover art, it's colorful, it's like cartoony, and that's really what these are because there's this whole genre, right, of like supernatural romance fiction.
It's silly
And
inherently.
it's a little silly, which is why in the books, when there are fairies, it's not as big a shock as
Yeah.
what it shows up
I
in
can see
the
that.
show, right? But the real and all of those great reasons why the book is better. The real reason, thousands, when only a couple of these are. But the first one came out in 2001. My mom loved reading romance novels. I don't know if you know this.
Still does.
Romance novels are just like literature porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's softcore
just
porn.
throbbing members.
Right.
Abound.
There's and in
old,
these
it's
books,
40-year-old woman porn.
no exception. There are tons of sex scenes. I was like 11
Members
or
are
12
throbbing.
years old, and my mom's like, "Hey, check out this book."
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
no.
No, don't say no because I didn't have to. Let me tell you, I never got a virus on my computer from downloading porn. I never watched porn when I was a kid. I had these books to keep me company. And you don't have to, it's better than the show. The show, if someone walks into the room and you're watching True Blood and there's a vampire sex scene, which there's literally a scene in the first season where they have sex. Bill digs himself out of a grave, finds Sookie, and they have sex in the digs himself out of a grave, finds Sookie, and they have sex in the dirt while he's covered in dirt.
That's a UTI right there.
Yeah, like
definitely.
Exactly. He's straight up naked and covered in dirt, and they just fuck in the dirt. What are you doing?
Makes sense. Sounds.
Anyway, you don't have to risk getting walked in on with that because you could just be reading these books where the same sex scenes are happening. But no one can see you reading them.
Yeah. But that's so important. Such a good point, though, because like, what is? I can't think of anything worse than my mom being down the hall and hearing like,
exactly.
Like it's not.
It's a television show. I swear to God.
And you gotta watch it on mute, which like everybody knows the sounds add to it.
Right.
But if they're in your head,
more
power to you.
You know what?
So you prefer the books because it's easier for you to be turned on by them in public.
Exactly. Read it on a bus. Read it at the library.
Then you gotta have like
Jones. So I was like, I'll do whatever you want.
All right. That's fair.
yeah.
That part I get.
But it's so having books that are just chock full of sex so much more acceptable. So yeah, and it's less embarrassing for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I think your answer is wrong, and I'm better than you. But I think that is a pretty.
Look at him trying to be mean.
Yeah,
That is a pretty good point. I like that. I would not have thought about. I mean, I've masturbated to both Lord of the Rings, the movie, and the book. But,
Oh yeah, I knew that.
but I didn't think about how much easier it was.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, that is true and a good point, but do you ever find, like, I get so awkward and uncomfortable when I think somebody might be hovering over what I'm reading, so I wouldn't read it on a bus. So, like, if they see the word, like, penis in here, and they know I'm looking at the word penis, they're going to know.
They
I
rarely
am
use
turned
the
on.
word penis.
What's a word they use more?
I mean, you got member.
Yeah,
you
member
got
is the first one.
manhood.
Oh,
What's a word they use more?
I mean, you got member.
Yeah,
you
member
got
is the first one.
manhood.
Oh,
you got
manhood.
I like manhood. Yeah.
You have a lot. There's some weird ones that get in there. Rod.
Rod is not sexy.
No. It's not, but they have to switch it up. And
Rod sounds like just like a baseball player's name. Like, there's nothing sexy about it.
Baseball is a subgenre of erotic romance.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it about like them going all around the country and starting families
Probably.
everywhere?
There's a lot of romance based on rock stars.
Oh, yeah.
And Navy SEAls.
Ooh, Navy SEAls.
Yeah.
Because Navy SEAls who
can,
used to be
anything.
rock stars.
Right.
Yeah, they can do anything.
They should combine them.
And now I would like to talk about the movie Rockstar, starring Mark Wahlberg.
Yes!
That was my actual pick.
I love Mark
Just
Wahlberg.
kidding.
Jess, do you have any further questions about any of the battles?
About books?
Okay, so I'm like, in my head, you guys are winning on different things.
Okay.
In my head, you guys are winning on different things.
Okay.
So that just, I'm going to have to figure out who's the overall winner, basically. Because you guys are crushing it on different ends here.
Yeah.
We
And thank you for spending a big part of it teaching me about these movies that everybody should have seen.
I'm so excited that you're totally blank on both
I
of
knew
these.
stuff about them, but I never like immersed myself into them.
Yeah.
You know.
You're aware of
you wanna
the
get
ZG of them.
The ZG. You're not allowed to say. You get
I've
one.
said it once.
You
I've
get
said
one
it
per
once. I'm
episode.
not trying to go crazy with it. Then I think it's.
Let's take a break and give you some time to think about it.
All right.
All right. Break time. And we're back.
Hello. Wow, you synced us up so quickly.
Oh, I'm so amazing at what I do.
I was taken off guard by how quickly that started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're ready.
We're ready.
I guess.
Ready.
So.
I was taken off guard by how quickly that started.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're ready.
We're ready.
I guess.
Ready.
So we took a break. Jessica decided what she wanted to judge, and we're going to hear about it.
Judges round now.
Right, it's judges round.
Right.
Now you have to defend both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
I wanted to say judges table, But that's just Top Chef. So
well, first, let us know what you've decided as either our punishment / challenge. I'm still trying to work on that challenge. Or reward.
All right, I'm going to throw this out there because I had an idea since you guys are being too nice to each other. So your reward and also punishment, and if I'm allowed to do this, would be to choose the punishment for the other one who loses.
Oh, so you want to hand it
So
to...
you guys get to screw each other over instead of blaming it on me.
Okay. All right. I like that. So if I win,
he gets to choose the punishment.
I get to choose my punishment for
or
Shelby's punishment.
Or some way that I would have to reward you or something. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So Judge is handing it over to us. Do you want to hand us over the judgment too?
Yeah. Can I judge that part? Can I do that part too?
So this was hard because there was like one or the other where both of you won to me just completely, and the other one where I was like, okay, I hate both of these things about this, so let me decide what's worse. So,
okay, perfect.
And I'll tell you my little notes so you don't think that I'm making up. So I'm going backwards a little bit. So the third round of the book is actually better. To me, despite the dwarf falling off the horse, Nick, and that being really annoying to you, went straight to Shelby because one, Sookie doesn't suck in the narration because you can't hear her.
He falls off a horse. Okay, I'm just kidding.
You can't hear her accent when you're reading it in your head.
And turned on in public, much easier. You can read this on the bus. That's like a total win. Okay?
I knew I'd get you with the sex.
Yeah, so Shelby won. The book is better round for sure. And then backing up to I wish this would end. Despite Shelby Fairies being super lame, Nick, your visceral pain that I can feel in my body of 178 minutes long, non-extended. You took the win for that one.
I do think you get that
for sure.
Yeah.
Jessica, you have no idea how much relief I'm feeling right now that I at least won that one.
Yes.
You know, like it wasn't in vain. You know,
You watched those movies for a reason.
for some sort of fucking reason.
And then you did even more for some reason. You just like you're
kept
masochist.
going. It's
He's
the
an
weird
overachiever.
completionist in me that I had to watch them all.
I call things like that masochism movie marathon.
That
where
is-
I'm like,
that was exactly
I love
what it
myself,
was.
but I'm gonna do it.
Also, because the end of Return of the King, when he says, "You, my friends, bow for no one," is a really nice moment, and I kind of wanted to make sure I saw it.
Yeah. I also like when she's like, I'm no man, and I like when the ghosties come.
The ghosties, that part is a little bit silly.
I like it.
I wish that. Okay, all right.
Now
we're
I
just.
want to watch this, but I kind of don't. Because I'm like, your pain, I still feel it from the earlier.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, just don't do it like in like a day and a half, I guess.
Oh boy, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was really hard. The like character who's actually really annoying.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the good boy and being a good boy, I was like, this is really creepy, and I'm already kind of leaning towards you. But then Shelby comes in with her like Sookie bad Alabama accent. There's nothing like if I'm racist against anything, it's like a really strong Southern accent. It's not my fault. I just like get mad and I don't do anything.
Where
about
are you
it.
From originally?
South Florida is where I grew up. So
Oh, I didn't know you were another Floridian.
yeah. So I'm terrible just on the inside.
Yeah.
It's hard to grow up there, but like. But yeah, you end up in a lot of like southern areas, and you're like, oh, I hear this voice. I know something bad's coming.
Right.
So, and if they're doing a bad job at it, you're like, you're already bad, and you're making it worse. So that was really hard.
Yeah.
Half a Fairy book said that Frodo was walking around like fingering the ring sexually with his dirty little fingers, which got you the win. So
Yes.
Nick ended up winning.
Oh,
in the end, but it
with
was
the
a close call.
dirty, filthy fingering.
I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm not gonna be able to get that image.
Now you have
The
to watch
fingers
these
are
movies.
really dirty too.
He's got tiny little nails, like he bites them, and I know what that looks like because I bite my nails because I'm disgusting.
Oh.
And he's just rubbing it.
Oh,
he's just lightly caressing it with his filthy little.
It's
the tip of
interesting
it.
because that, then I also have the imagery of Bill putting his dirty penis
Oh my
into
god, yes, the dirty. But like lots of men are dirty and they like dirty sex. The
every
fingering
one of them.
was like still a little rapey because I knew he was not a good boy.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
He's not a good boy.
I think we have answered the question of whether Frodo is a good boy.
And they like dirty sex. The
Every
fingering
one of them
was like still a little rapey because I knew he was not a good boy.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
He's not a good boy.
I think we have answered the question of whether Frodo is a good boy.
We have
It's
definitively.
not
He's
a
not
good
a bad boy.
Well, I'm bummed to have lost again.
I
was riding high on
you won
last
pretty
episode's
hard
win.
last week. I think you technically won all 3.
No.
But this one was a nail biter. Just like Frodo. Ew. Thank you. I feel wonderful. Thank you.
I like how Nick looked at his beer as he said that.
I looked right at it. Fucking Freudian much? Jeez,
yeah, you were thanking the beer.
Thank you, beer. You've done so much.
Nick might
to
have
me
a problem.
And the word might is unnecessary for that last sentence.
Well, I'm excited to hear. Do you have in mind the punishment/reward that?
Oh God,
And I have some ideas too, because like.
Please tell me an idea.
Well, maybe I knew what I was gonna do to you, because like after do his hair a certain way that he doesn't explain to anybody, like a spiky mohawk. So I kind of want to like blast on Shelby's like outfit for like a good week, like if you have like an ugly Christmas sweater of some sort, you're just wearing it out of turn, something like that.
Do you want to look at my closet?
Where we can just
pretty much all my clothes are
wearing 2 different shoes or something that make people worry about her as a person.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Something that makes people worry about you.
Okay.
The first thing I thought was maybe like for one day you have to dress like unbelievably warm.
Okay.
Like wait till it gets to be like 70 degrees and then you have to dress like it's like 30 degrees outside.
Okay. So
and
I
then
have to
not like layer after layer after layer like.
So this
like
is the punishment that I just have to carry around until it gets warm out.
You have to be, judged in public for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I gotta
we can come up with more ideas for how to dress you.
Okay.
And we will tell the thriving podcast community what that was.
For how to dress you.
Okay.
And we will tell the thriving podcast community what that was.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out though. But yeah, we'll do something to embarrass you publicly.
By the time this episode airs,
actually,
it'll probably be warm out.
What if for your punishment you had to get on the 720 bus that's the Wilshire bus for a half hour.
Okay.
And you have to read the sexiest True Blood book.
Okay.
That you have
out loud. You have to read it aloud.
You have to read it out. You have to read part of it out loud on the bus, and then you can get off right after.
Accents
half
and
an
all.
hour.
Accents
For
and
half an
everything.
hour, you have to. No, you don't have to. You have to read at least like a page out loud. I'll stay on the bus at the same time just to make sure that nothing terrible happens to you.
Yes, I like that.
I think we can do this.
I think we I'm really glad we workshopped it. I'm really glad that we put it to everybody,
Terrified.
You have to be on the bus though and watch. Make sure she's okay.
Well,
you have to be on the bus though and watch. Make sure she's okay.
Well, because I don't.
If Suki had dirty little ring fingering fingers, then
Well, because so my thing, the reason why this is a real punishment for me is because I am afraid of like confrontation and I'm afraid of disturbing anyone. So I hate the idea of like reading. If I do have to do a whole page, and if someone is like, what I'm most scared of is someone coming up to me and saying, "Ma'am, could you please stop reading
that's what you're most afraid of?
You can be like, oh my gosh, I get so into
I'm
it.
so sorry.
I didn't even know.
I cannot. I am embarrassed.
I would think about it falling asleep for the next month. I would be.
Well, I don't want to add to your
No.
list
It's fine.
of
I'm gonna do it.
anxieties.
Don't worry. I'm gonna do it. If I can't sleep for a month, that's your fault. But I'm gonna do it. I'm
fine with it.
Think about how many people, like I've heard a lot of people in like the line at Trader Joe's harmonizing on what's playing over the speaker.
That's adorable.
Singing, and I'm like, how do you do that?
LA is a magical city.
You're gonna be fine.
That's that.
One of Nick's jokes.
What's
stand-up
jokes? There's air quotes implied.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for coming on our
you.
podcast.
Oh, you have
for
to
having
pull
me.
the
Yes.
the battle box.
Shit.
Battle
I
box.
almost forgot.
Should I read them
You
aloud?
almost forgot about battle box.
It's the most important part.
And it's the
'cause
most-
it makes it. All right, so let's hear what the first battle for
Do you guys
next
know how much I
episode
love
is.
battle box? It's a lot.
You love battle
I
box.
love battle box.
He talks
Okay,
about it all
so
the
for
time.
the next episode,
the first battle.
Somebody named N.
That's Nick.
Oh.
that's my cool name when I'm just putting in criteria. I don't know. Okay.
He's very busy, guys. He can't write his whole name out, even though it's only 4 letters. It's most rewatchable.
Ooh.
That's
okay.
a good one.
That's a good
That's
one.
a good one.
Okay.
That's
All right.
okay. TV shows and your movie next week.
Oh, here. This is one of mine.
Oh, perfect. I love when that happens.
Most accidentally racist or sexist.
Ooh.
All right.
You don't have to think. You're so smart.
Somebody named N.
and rewatchable.
All right.
Okay. TV shows and your movie next week.
Oh, here. This is one of mine.
Oh, perfect. I love when that happens.
Most accidentally racist or sexist.
Ooh, and rewatchable. I love rewatching sexist, racist things.
Yes.
That's good. Accidentally,
Don't
though.
say that
Yeah,
on
well,
the
it's like-
podcast.
it's like
It's
They're trying
not
to
true.
hide it.
I was joking. Oh, like who? What'd you say?
Like, just, accidentally, like, if they're not even trying to be racist
Yeah.
or sexist,
Yeah.
but you're like, whoa. Or if
Oh.
they're just, like, blatantly racist,
Yep.
even better.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
All right, and then spooky, not scary.
Spooky, not scary.
That's a
one of
Shelby.
mine.
That's a
Yeah,
Shelby.
you know that's one of mine.
Oh, look at that.
Interesting.
Good
You missed
picking.
that
Yeah,
one.
I like
I
that.
didn't even look in the box.
Yeah.
You didn't even. I love you.
It's a
BattleBox.
blind box. Nick writes poems to BattleBox.
Oh, God.
I put them in,
Hilarious.
and then for some reason I always find them ripped up inside.
Yeah.
And Shelby swears she's not doing it.
Third segment of the show is just Nick alone with the box.
It's
we don't know. what
it's like an
happens to it.
ASM was until a bunch of white male comedians started talking about it a lot at open mics.
Yeah.
They all got into it at the same time.
We learn a lot from each other.
learn a lot
That's how I learned
from
what
each other.
incel was.
That is very,
from comedians? That doesn't
yeah.
surprise
Yeah,
me.
not. Speaking of which, do you, Jess, have anything you would like to plug or like an Instagram that people might
yeah,
wanna
I
look
mean,
at?
Mom, if you're listening, don't go to my Instagram.
Don't go there,
It's
Mom.
Jess for a minute, like Jess me for a minute.
Ah.
But really, Tuesday nights at Hollywood Hotel, 8
Because you
p.m.
can't count higher than 60.
What? Oh,
I'm just sorry.
he's being mean.
I
Shelby,
know,
during
it's
my
not
break.
worth it.
You're ruining her plugs.
I ruined it.
I'm plugging away. Yes. Now, Tuesday, Hollywood Hotel, 8 p.m. Comedy show / open mic. Come get your minutes. Nick is there. That's how I met him.
I love
his
it there.
greatness.
It's-
I haven't been. I should
it's
go.
Please
great.
come. And
I will.
actually, if you're available this Tuesday, I have one open book spot left for 7 minutes. If you're down for that.
Look at that.
Sure.
All right. 7 minutes. If you're down for that.
Look at that.
Sure.
All right.
Can I
got my job done.
Can
tonight,
I
too.
tell a really funny story?
Yes.
Like a quick Jess anecdote.
Yeah.
So I went to her mic and I met her at the mic, and she's very, very lovely, fun, delightful person who, I started going to the mic regularly because it's near my home and I like it, and I like the vibes that her and Landon, who I also want to get on this podcast,
Yes.
that you guys create. And after like my third or fourth time there, Jess asked if I wanted a book spot, and I was like, thank you so much. I would love a book spot. So I do a book spot, and she was like, that was great, like really good job. And then like a little bit later, she mentioned, like, we were talking and she goes like, yeah, your first book spot was really great. Like, you brought it. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I wasn't really funny before that, right? Haha. And she was like, no, yeah.
I was like, dude, I gave it to you kind of out of pity. 'Cause I like this guy so much.
Yep.
He's here all the time. I'm going to throw him a bone.
Yep.
And then I was like, bitch, you're funny and you've been funny this whole time. Where you been? It
Been
took
working
till-
on shit.
guy so much.
Yep.
He's here all the time. I'm going to throw him a bone.
Yep.
And then I was like, bitch, you're funny and you've been funny this whole time. Where you been? It
Been
took
working
till-
on shit. I
took till we
probably
became
brought my
friends
A
before I
material.
admitted it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So that was.
And now
I
he just
liked
brings
it.
it all the time,
Oh,
And
Oh,
it's
that's
great.
That's
Nick.
not
He's known
true.
for bringing it.
Yeah.
Is it garlic bread?
Yeah, he
Yes.
brought garlic
I
bread.
bring garlic bread.
All right, well,
All right, yeah, thank
I
you.
think that's it for. We can keep talking.
Let's
after.
just okay. Great. We don't need to judge
yeah,
things
right.
all the time. No, I'm
it's
kidding.
true.
We do.
Well,
That's what
I
this show's
mean,
about.
it's been a great. Keep listening.
Yeah.
Keep arguing with your friends and supporting them. Really.
Argue with
Be
your friends
supportive.
and then be supportive of them also.
And thanks
Thank
for
you, guys.
listening.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thank you, Jess.
Yay.
Everyone, bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. I've got some very exciting news for you super fans out there. Contest of Content is now a weekly podcast. That is right, you get every single week. And to help motivate us to keep it up, please rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be like Carter, who called me and Nick geniuses in his review. Thank you, Carter. And also, please tell your friends if you think they'd like us. We don't have a lot of ways to advertise, so we really appreciate spreading us by the word of mouth. That's how that phrase goes? Sure. If you're in the LA area, you can see my comedy variety show Bethulu. Yeah, it's like Cthulhu, but with a B. On August 18th. More details on my Instagram at R2Shelby2. Running out of time. Show Instagram, Contest of Content. Show Twitter, contest_content. Show email, contestofcontent@gmail.com. Theme music by Richard Rosenthal. Podcast art by Corey Fisher. Thank you. I love you. Bye.